Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel Doctorscorner. Now we are continuing from the last lecture. This is the part 2 of the cerebellum. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the general functions of the cerebellum in the motor activity and also the classification of the cerebellum anatomically, phylogenetically and physiologically. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the various deep cerebellar nuclei and the internal connection of the internal circuits of the cerebellum. Okay, so let me draw the line diagram once again here. I'll draw here so that I can discuss the here internal circuits. So again, consider this as the lateral section, cerebrum, brainstem, then spinal cord. So as we already discussed in the last class, that this cerebellum is present on the posterior aspect of the brainstem, just posterior to the pons and medulla here. Okay, and we already discussed the classification of the cerebellum. Now you know this outer part, it is known as cerebellar cortex, which is gray matter like your cerebral cortex. So this outer part, it is known as cerebellar cortex, which has the gray matter, and inside this is the white matter. What is gray matter, what is white matter? Again, to understand this topic, again go back to our basic videos of introduction to nervous system. You'll come to know what is exactly gray matter, white matter, what are the various fibers and all in the nervous system. So this is the cerebral cortex, and inside this, deep inside this, again there are masses of the gray matter here in between this white matter. So these are known as cerebellar nuclei or the deep cerebellar nuclei. Okay, now we are going to discuss what are these various deep cerebellar nuclei and about the internal connections of this nuclei with the cerebellar cortex. Okay, then later we'll discuss about the various various connections of the cerebellum with the central nervous system and the various functions of the cerebellum. Okay, so see, so this cerebellum is connected, as you know, in the last class in the general discussion of the cerebellum, you know. So this cerebellum is connected with the spinal cord, it is connected with the cerebral hemisphere, and also it is connected with the vestibular nuclei or the various other parts of the central nervous system. So many fibers will enter here inside the cerebellum, and also so many fibers exit, or the efferent fibers go out. Okay, so the efferent fibers, that is the fibers which are coming inside the cerebellum, that is the afferent fibers to the cerebellum. These cerebellum efferent fibers are mainly of two types. Okay, there are of two types. One is climbing fibers and another one is mossy fibers. Climbing fibers and mossy fibers. So there are two types of the afferent fibers which will enter inside the cerebellum. Okay, now what is this climbing fibers? So from the inferior olivary nucleus, the fibers which come from the inferior olivary nucleus to these deep cerebellar nuclei and goes to the cerebellar cortex. So these fibers which comes from the inferior olivary nucleus, so these fibers are known as climbing fibers. So what are climbing fibers? The fibers which comes to the cerebellar from the inferior olivary nucleus. Okay, now the other fibers, that is the rest of the fibers, which are coming from the various parts of the nervous system, the other fibers which are coming from the cerebrum, spinal cord, vestibular nuclei, it is inner ear, whatever. So all these other fibers which are coming towards the cerebellum are described as mossy fibers. So simple. So all the fibers which are entering the cerebellum are mossy fibers, except for one group of fibers that are coming from the inferior olivary nucleus. Okay, that is the climbing fibers. Okay, now these climbing fibers, they all are excitatory input. So these nerve fibers, they will release the neurotransmitters aspartate, and these mossy fibers, they will release a neurotransmitter known as glutamate. Okay, they will release a neurotransmitter known as glutamate. Okay, aspartate and glutamate. they are excitatory neuro inputs. So all the inputs are usually excitatory, and outside, that is the exit, that is different pathways, is through this deep cerebellar nuclei. We are going to discuss about this, what are the various deep cerebellar nucleus and its connection with the cerebral cortex. Okay, and remember one more thing, the lesions in the cerebellum are always ipsilateral. That is, if the right hemisphere of the cerebellum is damaged, then the lesions, that is ataxia or hypotonia, whatever lesions we get, are on the same side, whereas the lesions of the cerebral cortex will be contralateral side. Okay, we'll discuss further in the applied aspect. Now we are going to discuss about the internal circuits or internal connection of the cerebellum. So consider this as the cerebral cortex, that is this outer word. So indirectly we are learning the histology of the cells which are present in the cerebellum. So basically the cerebral cortex is made up of three layers. First is the molecular layer. This outer layer, it is known as molecular layer. Then we have the middle layer. Middle layer is known as Purkinje cell layer. Purkinje cell layer, molecular layer, Purkinje cell layer, and the inner layer, it is known as granular layer. Okay, so we have three cell layer, granular cell layer or granular layer. Okay, so totally three layers in this cerebral cortex. Now deep to this cerebral cortex, that is inside this white matter, there are deep nuclei. So this deep nuclei on either side, there are mainly four types of the nuclei present on either side from lateral to medial. They are dentate nucleus. This what I am drawing is dentate nucleus, bigger one, dentate nucleus, that is the lateral part of the cerebellum, dentate nucleus. Then there is inside this dentate nucleus is ambulliform nucleus. Then we have globose nucleus. Then we have finally the fastigial nuclei. Okay, fastigial nuclei. Okay, the middlemost part. So how to remember this four types of the deep cerebellar nuclei? Very simple. There is a mnemonic: don't eat greasy food. Don't eat greasy food from lateral to medial side. Don't, D for dentate nucleus, E for ambulliform nucleus, G for globose nucleus, and F for fastigious nucleus. Okay, now these two nucleus, ambulliform and globose, together they are known as nucleus interposed. Okay, so this fastigious nuclei is usually present in the flocculonodular lobe. In the last class we have discussed about the various lobes of the cerebellum. So in the flocculonodular lobe, this fastigious nuclei will be present, and whereas this ambulliform and this globous nuclei, they are present in the spinocerebellum, that is the vermis and the paravalvular area, and this dentate nucleus is present in the neocerebellum or the cerebellar cortex. Okay, so these are the deep cerebellar nuclei. So we are going to discuss now which is the major output of the cerebellum. So in the white, this is the cerebellar cortex has three layers, and inside this deep cerebellar nuclei will be there. So I am going to just draw one nuclei. This one nuclei, consider this as a deep cerebellar nuclei. It could be dentate, it could be ambulliform, it could be globose, it could be fastigious, any nuclei. So it is the final output from this cerebellum. Okay, so as we have discussed, there are two types of the fibers. One group of the fibers is Mossi fibers, and another one is climbing fibers. So this climbing fibers which comes, that is the afferent pathway. So this will give and the this is excitatory neurotransmitter. This will give neuronal connection to this deep cerebellar nuclei. So they will stimulate this deep cerebellar nuclei, and the neurotransmitter here is aspartate. Okay, and the next they will go upwards deep, and here they will all at this middle layer, that is the Purkinje layer. There are the cells which are present in the Purkinje layer are Purkinje cells. Okay, so their neurons will be Purkinje cells. Okay, so this Purkinje cells, the axons will go to the deep cerebellar nuclei, and the dendrites of this cell will be present in this molecular layer, and the nerve cell bodies are present in the Purkinje cell layer. So these are the Purkinje cell layers in the Purkinje cells. So the axons will terminate in the deep cerebellar nuclei, and the dendrites are usually present in this molecular layer. Okay, now this climbing fibers from the inferior olivatory nucleus will stimulate the deep cerebellar nuclei as well as goes to the deep layer and stimulate the Purkinje cell layer. Okay, it will stimulate the Purkinje cell layer, and the neurotransmitter here is aspartate, remember. And in turn, this Purkinje cell layer will inhibit this deep cerebellar nuclei, and the neurotransmitter here is GABA, inhibitory neurotransmitter. Okay, so just this is one of the circuitry diagram here. Then as you know, there are one more group of efferent fibers, and that group of efferent fibers, if you remember, that group of efferent fibers is mossy fibers. Okay, I'll use some other pen. So mossy fibers. So you know two types of efferent fibers, one is the climbing fibers and another one is mossy fibers. Okay, so mossy fibers also enters this, and it will enter up to the granular cell, and also they will give its connections to the deep cerebellar nuclei. Okay, consider this is again one more deep cerebellar nuclei. So these mossy fibers again, which are coming from the various parts of the central nervous system, so they will stimulate this deep cerebellar nuclei. Again, the neurotransmitter here, remember, it is the glutamate, and here it was aspartate. Okay, now they ascend up, and in the cerebellar cortex, that is the granular cell layer, there are granule cells. Granular cells will be present, multiple granule cells will be present. So they will stimulate this granule cells. What are these cells? As the name indicates, granule cells, granular layer, granule cells, and the axons of these granule cells will form the parallel fibers in the molecular layer. In the molecular layer, they form the parallel fibers. Okay, and the cell bodies here. So this granule cells, rather for the mossy fibers, they stimulate the deep cerebellar nuclei as well as this granule cells. Okay, as well as this granule cells. Okay, and in turn, these granule cells send the parallel fibers in the molecular layer. Now in this granule cell layer, there is one more type of a cell present, which is known as Golgi cells. So this mossy fibers also stimulates the Golgi cells. Okay, so this mossy fibers also stimulates this Golgi cells, whereas these Golgi cells will inhibit, Golgi cell will inhibit this granule cells. Okay, and this granular cells, again they stimulate this Golgi cells, but in turn it will inhibit the granule cells. Okay, and mossy fibers can also directly stimulate this Golgi cells. So in the granule cell, there are two types of cells, remember, granule cells and the Golgi cells. In the Purkinje cell layer, there is only Purkinje cells. Okay, now come to this molecular layer. In this molecular layer, again there are two types of cells present. They are known as stellate cells and basket cells. Stellate cells, because they are star shaped stellate cells, and basket cells. Okay, stellate cells and the basket cells. So in the molecular layer, two types of these cells are present, stellate cells and the basket cell. So these mossy fibers which are coming to the cerebellar cortex, they will stimulate this stellate cells as well as this basket cells, as well as they will stimulate this Purkinje cells. Okay, so they will stimulate the Purkinje cells. So remember one thing, this climbing fibers, they will one on one cell, that is one climbing fiber will terminate only on one Purkinje cell, whereas this mossy fibers, this one mossy fibers can terminate in so many granule cells and Golgi cells and the other cells. Okay, so this is one on one cell, this is not a one on one cell. This is one of the difference between these two types of the fibers. Anyway, come back to this internal circuits. So this granule cells with its axons, which forms the parallel fibers in the molecular layer, they will stimulate the stellate cells and the basket cells. Also it will directly stimulate the Purkinje cells. But this stellate cells and these basket cells, they will inhibit this Purkinje cells. Okay, so this is very important. This type of connection, stimulation and inhibition is very important. Inhibited neurotransmitter is GABA for the neural sharpening process in the cerebellum. So this is the internal circuit of the cerebellum, and ultimately all the inputs from the climbing fibers and the MOSI fibers goes to these various cells: Purkinje cells, basket cells, stellate cells, Golgi cells, granule cells, and to the deep cerebellar nuclei. And these deep cerebellar nuclei will give the efferent fibers. So in the next class we will discuss what are the connections of the cerebellum with the various parts of the CNS and its functions. Okay, stay tuned with us and subscribe our channel. Thank you.